How you doing? You're watching Broke Again Fab. Today we're going to be doing a mock-up to get the 1-ton rear axle in place, temporary fit, get the fenders cut, and see how and what we're going to change. Haven't gotten to the second half of the fuel tank relocation because we need to modify the inner wheel wells, and with the whole deck across here, more work. So makes it harder to get around it, makes it tricky. So it's one of those deals, you gotta do one to do the other. Got the tank out, got the pan on, as you saw in the last video. That gives me the clearance I need for the rear axle to sit in there. Next is getting the inner wheel wells and fenders done, and then we'll go back to the second half of the fuel tank relocation. So stay tuned, we're going to get this thing ripped apart. Thank you. Alright, first we're going to take these tail lights off. You're going to have one bolt up here, one down here, and then it has a little slip-in clip right here at the bottom. So, gonna get those taken off real quick. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and cut these fenders out. There's an inner and an outer. I'm gonna go ahead and use the grinder on the outer and probably pull out the sawzall to cut the inner. So, hope you enjoy. A little bit of dirt in there. Looks like the old police department used to use Winchester. That ought to do for now. I'm going to go ahead and cut the other side. No point in watching it twice. Alright, we're going to start pulling this rear axle out. First thing we're going to do is pull the shocks off, and then probably the parking brake. I'm going to save the U-bolts for last, just so it doesn't fall with stuff still connected. So, get you set up here. That looks like a good view.
guess the shocks are holding the axle a little bit. That's why you wait to pull the U-bolts. Alright, got the shocks loose and removed. Next we'll go to the brake line and then the parking brakes. Alright. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing. Alright. Brake line's loose. I'm going to go ahead and pull the parking brakes first. Parking brake's set right now, so I'm going to put a pair of vice grips on the line, and then I'll unhook the parking brake inside and see if that gives me enough room. There's one. Go to reset the brake, clamp the other one, then we'll repeat the process. Alright, parking brakes are released. Alright, now we're going to get the parking brake cables outside of the mount. Right here on this little 13mm wrench. Slide it over. It'll compress the little fingers that hold it. Comes right out. Just like that. Finish pulling that brake line. There we go. Just use the pliers. Brake line's loose. Now time to get the little clip off that holds it. Alright, I'm going to get this sway bar loose. Hopefully that'll give me a little better access to that little clip holding that brake line in. Go do the other side real quick. Almost got it. And the brake line's loose. So we're going to go ahead and pop these U-bolts off. There's your view. Alright, axle's on the ground. Let's see if we can't persuade it out of underneath there. the sway bar out right now. Alright, let's see if we can shove this big axle in there. Alright, need to pull some measurements, try to put it that 6 inches I'm looking for, make sure it's centered in there. So, keep in mind, this is not installation, it's not going to be on leaf springs. This is just mock-up to do my fenders and get all that ready before I can even put weight on it. Looks like I need to go to the driver's side about a half an inch to be centered. Of course, I moved it way too far. That slipped and hurt. Hit center.
I got the axle bolted down, centered in.
Now, all I did was I moved it 6 inches back on the current springs. There is no intention on driving it like this. Maybe push it in and out of the shop. I'm just trying to get mock-up for my fenders. See what kind of clearance I have between the pan and the differential. So I got 6 inches of clearance. It's pretty good ride height. I kind of like it.
Nothing too crazy, but
See, I moved it back 6 inches. So this fender needs to be cut across here and back down. I'm moving the fuel door up anyway, so that's going to work out pretty good.
so yeah, that's where we're at right now. Oh, for the inside, before I can finish my fuel tank relocation, all this is going to have to be cut and made bigger back here also. So, one step at a time. Alright, finished cutting out the inside. It's a little bit bigger than it needs, but we're going to go ahead and box it off from here down, get that all boxed out, bring some strength back to the unibody. By looking at, by looking at that and the distances I have, pretty sure this, I'm going to go ahead and cut that out all through there. The shape is just all different. So, and looking at the gap between those, probably going to shift the rear axle forward just a couple more inches. But so far, mock-up seems to be going alright. But it's the end of my day, so I'll catch you guys on the next video.